right. All right, we will call this meeting to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the roll call, please. Crandall.
Here.
Greenway.
Yes.
Mueller.
Here.
Jill.
Here.
Sparta. Yes, and we have a quorum, so move on to item number 2, the approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda before us.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please. Greenway.
Yes.
Mueller.
Yes.
Crandall.
Yes.
Jill.
Yes.
Sparta. Yes. Item number 3, conflicts disclosure. Now is the time if any of us have a conflict of interest, either direct or indirect, now is the time to disclose. Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 4, public comment. Shereen, did we have anyone signed up for public comment? No. Okay. And we'll move on to our main action item, the budget supplement. Thank you guys for doing the special meeting. This is something that, doing at the end of the school year is helpful instead of, we have our board meeting so early in June that it's nice to get all the bills in and you're up to exactly where your budget is and what your expenditures are. So this is just a standard adopting the supplemental budget that I presented here, just with different categories. A few things of reasons why in there is, some of them are salaries, training, differences in the general fund. We had the insurance increase, created a little bit of different deficit in the some of the funds. Bus repairs, we had a lot of bus repairs on the charters. There was a lot of ticket items there for bus repairs. So those are the big differences that you're seeing why they're a little bit not exactly where our budget was. Then you have, going on to the capital outlay, the food truck. So we moved some stuff around, we evaluated what we had, and so we figured our food truck went down, and so the costs that we had were so high on just renting a food truck that we looked in, and then we added that as far as on our capital outlay to look for a food truck, because the expense to rent one was outrageous, and if it's going, it was time to kind of take care of that, so we took care of that a little bit earlier than what was predicted on this last budget. So, and then... Can I ask you a question about those bus repairs?
Yes.
So were any of those bus repairs associated with those propane buses, or has that been as good as they say it is? They have been doing well. We haven't had any big repairs on the propane buses. It's just the charter buses that you're seeing the big expense from. Okay. They're just getting older. But our propane buses, they're operating. We haven't had any big things needing to be replaced on them. They're doing their job. Still in town routes because propane is in town. You don't want to go too far, so we still have our out of town buses, but our propane are working well for our in town route stuff.
As far as our charter buses, he thought about replacing those buses at some point. We have that in the budget.
It'll be in our 5-year, our capital outlay plan, looking at that. And we got so lucky with the ones we have, and so I'm just watching. I'm just going to keep watching and seeing if we can find a similar kind of deal. I relay back to Jason quite often on those charter buses because you guys did very well when you did purchase those. It was a great deal. They're hard to find, and also then we need to take a look. I even ventured out, what does it cost to do outside sources? Like busing, having another company bus, it was outrageous. So it was outrageous. So we'll keep looking, I'll keep watching. And then also maybe we may need to take a look at, do we go charter? Do we do a little different? I mean, not every school does big charter buses either. So that's a conversation in the future that we'll have to have. But right now, it's still not crazy the expenses that we're putting into it, but we're watching it.
So with the food truck, that was on schedule within the next year
Yes.
or two, so we just ramped up based on what the expense was to be able to fix it versus, okay, just take the repair bill and move it forward.
We have the van, we had the van on the schedule to go. The van's doing very well, and so we moved that and switched it. We just didn't have it in this category, that's why you're seeing a difference. You see a credit in the other one, because we were over in the other where we had the van. But this is a different category because of what it does and where it was on the budget.
Okay.
So yeah, we just moved it, it was on our 5-year plan, we just moved it up and then moved the other one to a different spot because we didn't need to replace it at the time.
So, and it comes in capital outlay versus putting it in the food?
Food service, so this is half, so you know it's
Okay.
only 51,000, food service paid 45 of it. They pre-approved it and that was okay in the food service area, so yes.
Thank you.
So, let me just strip about this truck. Is this a truck that does normal deliveries too?
Yes,
Okay.
and a portion, because they do all the food deliveries, we're able to share that expense in those two funds.
Okay.
This is the fund of the capital outlay fund, the 51,000. 45 of it was covered under the food service.
Is there a unique aspect to it that makes it a food truck or just delivers food?
Just delivers food. Any kind of vehicle, they could, they had to get it pre-approved through the cans, through the state. And she did that, Laura did all that, and any vehicle that we were using could have had that
Yeah.
same qualifications. Okay, and then moving on, the biggest part is special education, and you see the differences there because of services. We can't predict services, they're in and out. You can get a kid with some things that need different services, and it can happen within the middle of the year. So you're gonna see the difference there every time. Predicting that is pretty hard to do. So those are those normal different services, different categories that the kids or different services fall in. And then the TLC, and I should say TLC, not concessions up there, TLC building, that's just what was in our 41 and the bond paid for that. So that's just making everything positive. And then concessions, supplies, 12,200 was the difference there too, so.
So the change in the special education fund, that's looking forward, right? Or you're anticipating?
Yes, I did adjust, so the budget you guys will approve in July, or look at again in July at the budget hearing, and in September, I put these in to I take years past to where I am current, and I try to predict. It's kind of hard to do that, because kids move in and out all the time, but I did take in our overages for this, what we're doing right now today, and adjust it to our current budget going forward. It's only a prediction, because that's what a budget is, and special education is a little bit harder to predict. And so that's kind of where we're at. That's how I budget year to year. I take previous plus current and kind of put them all together and work through it that way. So we don't know numbers all the time. They kind of come and go.
So this is gonna be in addition to what we had on the budget previously?
Correct. This is a supplemental. And usually Jason did it twice a year. I do it once a year. You have to, no matter what you do, you're always having a supplemental budget. But I've always done it just at the end of the year.
Okay.
Tying everything up together and then explaining the differences. Any other questions? That's all I have. So it's just a resolution of passing the supplemental budget.
Okay, I thought there was a few more sheets over there.
No, that's it.
Okay. Do we have any questions for Shereen? Yeah, none of these seem, special ed, it can be one student going to residential services and
Yep.
that can make a big difference.
Correct. That's where you're seeing a lot of it, and the other ones are just things that we changed and did a little different, or, yeah.
And actually, we've kind of predicted that because we kind of know in a couple of years, we're gonna be in some trouble and we're gonna need to go into the state fund or at least apply for state funds. So we've predicted those increases, so that's a
Correct.
huge portion of it.
Yep.
Okay, if you don't have any more questions, an action item, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a
Motion
Go ahead.
Motion to approve the budget supplements as presented.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mueller,
Yes.
Greenway,
Yes.
Crandall,
Yes.
Schill,
Yes.
Sarda.
Yes. Okay, our final item was adjournment. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, Shereen.